There are lots of really different manufacturers and relationship we have with manufacturers depending on how replaceable and strategic they are. Obviously, we don't put strategic suppliers. We do often post, RFIs and explain what we're looking for, and then we have our criteria. We sort out the different suppliers. We do site visits now, sort of virtual site visits, because it's not really possible to do them anymore, and try to get a sense whether the relationship beyond the contracts will work or not. And it's really, you cannot spend this time as a startup with limited resources on so many suppliers. You can do it on one or two suppliers. To us, the most important criteria is pretty much always continuity of supply, because obviously if you're manufacturing something and all of a sudden they are out or they're not willing to produce anymore, this can kill your company, purely and simply, and even at a later stage. So that's what you need to make sure. And it's not, the problem is not something that you can only solve with a contract, because a contract is great, but if a company goes down, there's no contract protecting you. If there's bad faith involved, there's no contract protecting you in the short term. It might get you some damages later down the line, but your company might be dead by then. So that's the one. And then obviously there's cost. There's the whole game of trusting the guys, but also checking, understanding at least their cost drivers, and understanding what you can do for you to basically lower costs by changing the design. Because if you don't understand that you're making a small stuff that is really complex and doubling the cost of your parts, you will not be able to change it.
Yeah, so for finding the right people to work with, there's quite a few challenges there, in the sense that you want to find people, first that have some level of expertise in your fields. In our case, we're working with a microfluidic chip, which is very specific, and not everyone has that expertise. So you're already nailing it down to very few people you can work with to do that. And how we found them was partially with recommendations from people we know, and then of course you just look around. From what you can find as a reference from or other people who have been using similar technologies, if you can find that information there. And then let's say the challenge there is that they don't necessarily want to work with you if you're very small as a company, because that means you're not bringing a lot of volumes for what they, just for covering their costs or for whatever we're trying to do. So at this point, it's very important to also build a certain kind of relationship, or just show what is the potential of working together for a certain amount of years together, because that's what's going to bring you volumes in the end, and not just looking at the first year, because that's in the end we got a lot of closed doors right away, just focusing on that. Beginning, we wanted to always choose suppliers which are close by, or manufacturers which are close by, because you need that proximity to be able to exchange, understand if there's an issue, being able to go on site and really have that interaction. That's even more valid now with COVID, and especially at an early stage, that's extremely important. You want to go east or China, whatever, at a much later stage when cost per unit becomes much more important as well in the eye of investors, or in the eye of everything you're trying to do at a later stage of a company. And that, but of course, what is very important is the volumes or the scalability that is possible with this manufacturer, because some will be able to do a certain range, depending on what they use as tools. You're limited to, 10,000, 20,000 units. And then if you need to go above that, then it's probably a discussion with other types of suppliers or manufacturers.